Linda has been kind enough to come tonight and share with us her experiences that happened when she was a young woman. These experiences happened approximately 19 years ago, and yet today she still has some of the remnants of those thoughts that are present in her mind and affect her behavior today.
About 20 years ago, I was with a couple of other people, and we were in a room, and a man walked in, and I had my back to the door. Everybody else was kind of facing the door, and they were looking over my shoulder and saying, "What are you doing? Don't do this. Don't come in here." And they were getting upset, and I didn't really understand what they were talking about until from across the room there was a mirror, and I could see his reflection, the man who had walked in behind me. I could see his reflection in the mirror, and it was a man with a ski mask, and he had a big gun, and he proceeded to shut the door behind him and tell all of us to get down on the ground, and that he was going to kill us. And he stood over me, put a gun to my friend's head, and took his wallet and robbed another man. And unfortunately, that man's wife had passed away that day, and we were together consoling him and his wife's mother. And he said, "You know, don't do this. My wife just died today." And he said, "Get on the ground or you're all going to join her." So he robbed him of his wallet, and he, you know, threatened a couple times to kill us, and luckily he didn't. He turned the light off in the room and closed the door behind him and left. And then that was it. I was pretty, I guess, appreciative of the fact that he didn't kill us. I was kind of, I don't want to say I was hysterical. I was kind of focusing on the positive in the situation, saying, he's the nicest man in the world. He's the nicest man in the world. And it was because he let us live. Because in that moment, I felt as though I had stepped into another dimension. When people think that their parents are in charge of them as children, or somebody has controlling behavior towards you, it's absolutely nothing. Nothing. Doesn't even get on the scale as when somebody has a gun held to your head, and it's within their power to end your life. So it was a pretty surreal experience.
And how has that experience expressed itself in your life moving forward since then?
Well, immediately after that, it was impossible for me to be in a room where the door wasn't locked. I have to put chairs underneath the handles of the door. And I actually had to follow my boyfriend around at the time, put my finger in his belt loop, because I was completely terrified to be alone. Since then, I've noticed small, what you would think would be insignificant incidences, such as, you know, having a door behind me and a mirror across from me would trigger this memory, this feeling, almost a sense of panic would come over me. Yeah, it took me quite a long time to ever be in a room that the door wasn't locked. And even sitting in a room like we are now, where there's reflections on glass doors, it's unnerving. And knowing that the door is right over there as well, it's kind of unnerving, because I feel vulnerable. There was no resolution. I've never had resolution. The only thing that has ever helped is time, and my trying to control and manipulate every aspect of my life so that I don't have these cues and I don't put myself in vulnerable circumstances. And that's it.
We've taken a quick history of Linda. I'm going to demonstrate the havening process from beginning to end. And at the end of the process, Linda will not be able to either have the memory will appear fuzzy. She will look at the memory as if from above but not in the room, or the peripheral details of that memory will be in clearer focus, but the main part will not. Are you ready to eliminate this from your life?
Gladly.
Okay. Would you be so kind as to close your eyes?
Okay.
And what I want you to do is, for the next 30 seconds, with everything you remember about that moment, the room, the names of the people that were there, you're lying down, his smell, the color of his cap, the color of the room, the coldness of the floor, the emotional feelings that you had at that time. Bring them as forward as you can. It may be a little uncomfortable, but it'll be well worth the effort at the end. Okay. Whenever you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and write the number from 1 to 10 that you're feeling, 10 being you're present in the moment, 0 being the absence of the moment. Open your eyes, write the number. 8. Close your eyes. I want you to